In this tutorial, I'd like to discuss the XMP files. An XMP file deals with metadata, information from your camera file. It's going to deal with things such as where the image was shot, the shutter speed, the aperture, the shooting mode that you were in, the metering mode, all the different types of information that's captured when you're making a photo. An XMP file is an extensionable metadata platform file. What that means is it's just a file that goes in and contains all this information related to the camera and how it's recorded, how the image is recorded. The goal of this is to help you configure across multiple platforms and applications and understand how it works between different applications such as Adobe Camera Raw and Lightroom. I want to go up to the top here and show you where that's located. So if I go into Lightroom Classic up on the top here and go down to my catalog settings, you're going to find this radio button. Generally, the default is going to be unclicked. Automatically write changes into XMP. You want to go ahead and select that if you want to work between multiple platforms. And I just recommend that you do this for now within the course. It's going to make things a lot simpler if you want to make some changes in Adobe Camera Raw. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And you can just go back and look at the changes made in Lightroom will not automatically be made visible unless that is selected. So we want to go ahead and make sure that's selected. Once you have that selected, you can go ahead and close it. So what's going on here is it's specifying that the image data is not being saved just to your Lightroom catalog, but that it is being saved to the file itself. It's attached to that file instead of a Lightroom catalog. So this is really important. The way that Lightroom works is it's all based around this catalog idea. So I recommend doing that. So if you make a change inside Adobe Camera Raw, you will see those file updates. And so it automatically writes to the file and it's associated, so once again, with the file itself and not the catalog. And now I've opened the file in Adobe Bridge 2020, as you can see up by the top here, and the overall formatting of the application itself. Right now I've got the main preview window enlarged quite a bit, so you can see that there's multiple versions of this particular file, and I just want to focus in on it. And you see the preview window over here. When you're in that grid view, you can enlarge one particular image, and that's what I've done. What I want to note is this particular setting right up here that tells me that the XMP data, that's what that particular information is there. So primarily in the future, I'd like you guys to use the DNG format when downloading. You'll notice that this file right here, I've got a lot of different information. It's a NEF file, so this is a Nikon electronic format. That's what NEF stands for, which is going to cause the file to have an external XMP file. So if you look at my files, you'll find that there's two. There's going to be whatever this particular name is here, and then there's going to be a .NEF and a .XMP with the same file name. Once again, this is the metadata down below here. It shows information about the file, and there's quite a bit of different stuff that you can go through as I'm scrolling through it. It just saves all those different changes that you've made into that XMP file. So let's go ahead and launch this into Adobe Camera Raw and see if we've got the same changes. You'll notice this little symbol up here, the aperture. If you've got a JPEG and or a DNG or some type of other proprietary format like TIFF, your files will open into Adobe Camera Raw. Let's click on that. It's going to launch us into the Adobe Camera Raw application. And I'm just going to enlarge this to full screen. So we've got the one file open on the bottom here. And what I want you to note is that all that information, such as the metadata, is contained up here. It's in all these different settings as we go through here. And it's even in the different presets and localized changes. So I've got both the global, which is going to be this particular panel, and then the local. So I made one gradient change, and you're going to notice that the gradient change carries over. So that wraps up the tutorial on XMP files and how they move across platforms as an external XMP file if you're not changing your files into the DNG format. So once again, this is for .cr2s for Canon files if you import them that way. This is also for .nef for Nikons, and all the different files for different cameras. They all have their proprietary names. DNG format is, once again, it's a digital negative, and that's something that Adobe's created as an open source platform. So generally that's the best file format to be importing your files as.